Welcome back, Shalloners. Today I want to talk about something that almost all of us girls have experienced, or if we haven't, buckle up ladies, because it's coming. Getting ghosted. Now, the definition of ghosting, to me, is when you're seeing a guy either sort of casually or sort of seriously, and they just go dark. If you were more of a pessimist, you might assume that they were dead. Very rarely is this true, unfortunately. They're usually alive and out there just being douches to somebody else. What ghosting isn't is a guy sitting down with you, either via text or IRL or over the phone or whatever, and being like, hey, I just don't think this is working out. I kind of want to just be friends. I still got feelings for someone else, blah, 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 all manner of excuses. That's not what ghosting is. Ghosting is the coward's way out. It is going dark rather than being a man and having an uncomfortable conversation with a girl so that you don't lead her on and hurt her further down the line, right? Before we get into this, just a reminder that if you guys have questions of your own, if you want to tell me your own tale of ghost woe, your own haunting, if you will, the best way to do that is on the Instant Go app. That's where I take all questions now. My username is Shallon, XO, and click chat, not questions, which I know it seems like it would be that chat. And we'll get chatting, and I reply in like 24 hours. It's fun. So back to ghosting. Okay. I don't just want to talk about ghosting. I want to talk specifically about how to handle it. Do you call a guy out or do you not? There's two very distinct schools of thought on this. Pro and con. I'm going to argue passionately for both of them because I go back and forth in my own mind. When it's happened to me, it's like, okay, so on one side, there is no, don't say anything. As you guys know, if you've watched my videos for any length of time, my strategy to deal with a breakup is silence. I go so dark. Like, I don't subtweet. I don't post about it. I don't text them. I don't speak about them. I don't speak to them. I don't exist anymore. Because when my heart's broken, the only thing I have left is dignity. It's just a shred of dignity left out there somewhere. And you preserve that dignity by not showing your hand and not showing how you really feel about something. Like, you handle it with grace, a stiff upper lip, and a lot of wine behind the scenes. And of course, bitch to your friends, and your family, but it never gets back to the guy how I feel. Like, when we break up, I'm like, I understand. Thank you. Have a nice day. Like, that's it. I don't cry. So I'm very much on the side of if they don't know how you feel, then that helps you kind of win the breakup. And also, I think that leads to getting back together easier because you don't say things out of hurt and anger. And a guy will really believe that he has lost you if you are silent, But that's not really what's going on with ghosting, because if a guy's ghosting, you're probably not in a relationship. Although my husband ghosted me. He stopped speaking to me while I was still living with him and took off his wedding ring until I couldn't take it anymore and moved out 6 weeks later. Imagine living with someone who isn't speaking to you. It's pretty fun. You don't think a husband can ghost his wife as you can. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so on one hand, there's dignity. You want to preserve your dignity. And then there's the case to be made that if someone's going to ghost you, they probably don't care what you think of them because they don't care about you. Guilt only works when someone cares about your opinion. That's why it's funny to me when people snipe at me on my comment section or something. It's like, I don't know you. I don't care if you don't like me. Even if I did know you as an acquaintance, I still probably wouldn't care. It's wild. So you're kind of whispering into the wind when you call out a guy who's ghosted you because it's cool, he doesn't care, So that leads me to the other side of the coin. The pros for calling a guy out. So when people ghost on you, when guys ghost on you, the number one thing they tell themselves is, she probably doesn't care anyway. They downplay their involvement and their importance in your life to downplay the crime that they're committing, the emotional crime that they're committing against you. And really, these people are emotional terrorists. They're awful. So it is reasonable to think that, okay, well, if we call them out, then that is the best way to combat their ridiculous notion that girls don't mind being ghosted. There's a reason we gave a name to this term. It's because it's awful. Because what happens is, as you know, ladies, You go over and over and over everything in your mind. What did I say? What did I do? What was the last time he liked me? Was the last kiss ever? Like, I didn't know that. Like, maybe he's just busy. You know, like, there's so many stages of denial that you go through when you're being ghosted. By the time you get the memo, it's been a while and you're like, oh my God, I feel like such a fool. Because I was like still holding space in my life for this person. So in terms of calling them out, like I said, I'm in favor of dignity, you know, and just being strong, the strong, silent type. However, when someone hurts me, I am also a psychotic war machine. Let me take that back. It's not when someone hurts me, it's when I see injustice. I'm an Aquarius. We are very concerned with equality. I hate injustice to the point that I have inserted myself in situations that I shouldn't have, like at work, with friends, because I'm trying to right wrongs on behalf of other people. I can't stand to see people get taken advantage of. And I can't stand to be ghosted. And even more, I can't stand to watch you guys be ghosted. So, that being said, I think that there's certainly a case to be made for calling people out on their bullshit behavior. Because like I said, the refuge of the ghoster is denial. They're gonna be like, she doesn't care, whatever, it's no big deal, we weren't that serious anyway. Ladies, we all know that length of time in no way equates to the strength of your feelings. There were guys I've had flings with that I was obsessed with like months later. There's people I dated for 2 years and when we broke up, bye, it was over. Like, we know this. So for guys to tell themselves that like, we only went on a couple dates, what's the big deal? That might be true. Maybe you only did go on a couple dates, but maybe it's how he treated you on those dates. Maybe he was the boyfriend guy already, was leading you down a path, and suddenly he walked you off a cliff. So if someone has done that to you, if that is the situation, if that's the kind of like ghosting it is, then I think there's a case to be made for calling him out. However, a lot of you guys will like send me questions and stuff, and it's like, the relationship simply didn't work out. You know, it like kind of petered out, or it's like maybe been a date or two and you didn't hear from him again. That is not the situation where I would call someone out, because you're gonna look kind of crazy. I think though, if you slept together, and I'm saying this at my age, like it's still a big deal to sleep with someone. If you've slept together and if they've acted boyfriendy to you, if you've gone on dates, if you've met each other's friends, if you talked about the future, then yeah, I think you can call someone out for ghosting. Because my theory is, if someone's gonna like put me into, first of all, a state of denial for a week plus while I'm like wondering if they're dead or alive, like if they've been eaten by wolves or blasted into space because I haven't heard from them, followed by more weeks, if not longer, where I'm just heartbroken. Because as we know, it's not always the person you fall for, it's the possibilities. If you're out there really wanting a relationship and someone kind of sells you on that, if they present themselves as that guy and then they just abruptly do not do that, that's a social terrorist, you know? If a guy's a fuckboy from the beginning and he's Netflix and chilling you from the start, he probably will ghost you once he gets what he wants, still. So if a guy's gonna put me through all that, put you through all that, like an extended amount of time of confusion, hurt, misery, embarrassment, I think he can handle one fucking ouchy, cold, prickly text. Don't you? Why are we letting people get away with things like this? A phrase Dr. Phil used to say is, what you permit, you promote. When you permit people to do things, big or small, family, friends, boyfriend, whoever, when you permit them to do things and you don't stand up for yourself and you don't say, hey, I actually don't like that, you're promoting it. Because they think, hey, it's a green light. Why not? We got to stop doing that, girls. Because why would we? Where does that get us? It makes us miserable. So I'm kind of talking myself into calling out the ghosters. And here's how you do it. First, the crucial thing about calling someone out, whether they've ghosted on you, whether it's an ex who did break up with you, but you still need some sort of closure, or you're just, whether you're calling out anyone in your life, you need to do so without hope or agenda that this is going to change the outcome. Don't call out a ghoster if you think this is going to bring him back in your life and he's going to love you and everything's going to be patched up. Girl, if he ghosted once, he is going to ghost again. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but he will. That's his modus operandi for how he's going to leave relationships. You know how I know that? My husband was a ghoster. The person he dated before me, he lived with her, his girlfriend, and she, I don't know, did something, was like texting another guy, something that he found, cause for dismissal. So instead of breaking up with her, he put on noise canceling headphones and stopped speaking to her until she moved out. What an interesting pattern. And I would always say, like, I'm so afraid of you doing that to me. And he's like, I would never do that to you. Oh my God, like, you're the love of my life. You're my wife. That's his default behavior. That's his behavior. And I should have known that. If a guy has a habit of ghosting, he's going to do it again. Certainly within this current relationship. People are who they are. You can't make a coward into a man. You can't grow bravery. You can't grow communication skills. You can improve upon them. But I mean, I don't know. You can try, girl. But like, don't go into it thinking that that's going to happen. Don't go into this expecting a dialogue. In fact, a dialogue is probably the most dangerous thing that can happen. Because what you say, you call it a ghoster. What's he going to say? Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I've just been so busy. Oh, it's my family and my job. He's going to come up with some fuck shit, with some bullshit excuses. You got to see through that. Not be like, oh, that's okay. First of all, he didn't come back to you. He's not like organically trying to get back in your life. You reached out to him. He's offering excuses so he doesn't feel like a dick. He might like be like in a panic, like, you want to go to dinner? Like, let's hang out, get a drink. And you're going to be like, we're back. Girl, you are not back. No, you are not back. You are not back. This is not back. It's not going to go good. Let it go. If you want to call him out, though, this is what you say. You shame him. Provided he's not like a psychopath or a sociopath, that he has a shred of human empathy and just like decency about his behaviors. Say something like, hey, it was disappointing that I never heard from you again, because that to me said you either didn't respect me enough to just send a text being like, hey, I don't think the chemistry's right, good luck to you, or you didn't think I was worth the time. That's a shame, because I had a lot of respect for you, if for nothing else, on a friendship level. And the fact that you lack those basic communication skills kind of makes me embarrassed that I was involved with you in the first place. Like putting words like embarrassed, cringe, like ashamed, just turn that screw and end it with like, good luck to you. You'll need it. Something like that, It might come across as a little petty, because it is. And you know what? Forever petty. That's been my motto this year. But like, again, I think people need to be shamed. And look, you're dead in the water anyway. He's not coming back. It's not going to work out. This is not your yes. So if this makes you feel a little bit better, honey, go for it. We kind of got to take our wins where we can. And if you count this as a win, do it. But after you send that text, block his number. Block his number. I mean the instant you send it. Because like I said, he's not going to come back with anything that's useful, that you want to hear. He's not going to be like, you're right, you're the love of my life, marry me. No, he's not going to do that. He is a fuckboy. He's a coward douche. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. If you guys have more questions on ghosting, God knows I do, because it's terrible. It's an epidemic. Hit me up on Instant Go or leave something down in the comment section, maybe some other topic ideas, and I can do some more videos on this. And in the meantime, follow me on Insta, Snap, and Twitter at ShallonXO.